Right. So I'm back with another video, and I mean, if you've already clicked on this, I want you to know it's not the best new transfers. It is my new transfers 11, basically kind of like players that you should keep an eye on because they're gonna have an interesting season, whether that be bad or good or just overall. We're trying to see what they're gonna have. And personally, these are just an 11 that I kind of cobbled together, even though there's a lot more players that I want to keep an eye on, especially the ones that are going into a new team. So I kind of challenged myself to do it, at least one, if not two players per top 5 leagues. And yeah, we're going to try to go position by position. It's going to be a 4-3-3, including a goalkeeper. So yeah, this is my new transfers 11. Again, not the best new transfers, just some new transfers that are going to be interesting, and in particular, interesting to me. Of course, let me know in the comments down below what transfers you're interested in seeing, what players you're interested in seeing at different teams, obviously. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Starting with goalkeeper. Of course, in our goalkeeping position, there's a lot of new names, and I feel like the main one to go for, which I'm actually not going to choose, but an interesting one that people should keep an eye on, is Lucas Chevalier. Of course, he's joining PSG, but the main person that I'm actually going to be choosing is Mads Hermansen. He is joining West Ham from Leeds United. I think that is a huge, sorry, not Leeds, from Leicester, sorry. That's a huge pickup, at least in my personal opinion. I think West Ham are going to have a pretty decent season. I mentioned it in my predictions video. You got to keep an eye on that one, because with a stronger goalkeeper like Mads Hermansen, who deserves to be in the Premier League, I mean, he showed it when Leicester was in the Premier League, I think it's going to be an interesting season overall for West Ham, but in particular for this new goalkeeper who is making sure that he is a mainstay in the Premier League now. So keep an eye out for Hermansen and West Ham. Also keep an eye out for where Gigi Donnarumma will end up going. I think Manchester United would be the perfect place for him, but I mean, you never know. Also, Ter Stegen. Keep an eye out on Ter Stegen, but they haven't been moved yet. Also, John Garcia. Anyways, sorry, I'm talking about way too many players. Regardless, Mads Hermansen is my pick. Lucas Chevalier was a close second for me. Moving on to the defense, we're going to start at right back. In my right back slot, we're gonna move over to La Liga. We're actually gonna go with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes, the new Real Madrid right back, the new number 12 at Real Madrid, is going to have a pretty tough ask, especially depending on whether or not Xabi Alonso will play a 3 at the back or 4 at the back. Regardless, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Trent to actually get into the right positions and overall adapt to this new league, especially facing a tough opponent in FC Barcelona, represent by the way. But I think just a new system, new players, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him, but I think eventually he'll get the hang of it and do a pretty decent job, but it may take him a season. So we got to keep a close eye. It's his first season. It's his debut season with an arguably bigger team. I mean, Liverpool are a fantastic team, but, he's moved away from where he started, so it's going to be tough for him. So keep an eye out. In our back line, of course, we got 3 more positions, including 2 center backs, but we're going to stick with just one of them for now. And we're going to stay in La Liga because there's a very interesting transfer that happened this transfer window, and I really want to talk about it. I should have talked about it in my La Liga predictions. But overall, Atletico Madrid have signed a lot of amazing players, and by me just saying Atletico Madrid, you may already notice who I'm going to say, but it's David Hanko. I think that's a huge pickup. I think Hanko should have gone to many other teams. I think I mentioned in my predictions video. But still, I mean, also, can we just point out the fact that Atletico Madrid, their new signings and also their jerseys, like the way they announced them, they just look like, it looks like an older Atletico Madrid in the new gen. It's interesting to me, at least. Also, I really like David Hanko. I think he's a fantastic defender, and honestly, he could be up there for one of the best center backs in La Liga now that he's joined La Liga. So keep an eye out for him. I think he's going to have a monstrous season and going to help Atletico Madrid push for the league title and arguably maybe even win a trophy, whether that be the League Cup or something else. Who knows? Moving on to my second center back position, I am going to go with Zabarnyi, I think. Yes. The Ukrainian center back who has just joined PSG or is about to join PSG or something like that. I think he signed just like a day or two ago as of the day recording. I'm actually recording on the same day that Spurs just narrowly missed out the Super Cup versus PSG. Of course, PSG, they have just signed Zabarnyi from Bournemouth, which is crazy. That's the third defender, technically. In the back five, technically, that's their fourth player that they've lost just this transfer season alone. Anyways, moving on. Focusing on Zabarnyi, I think it's going to be an interesting adaptation for him. He's going to be moving to the French league, so it's a little bit different. Also joining a super team like PSG that have arguably been really defensively solid. Especially, I mean, they conceded 2 goals to Spurs today, obviously without Zabarnyi. So seeing how he can adapt, arguably alongside William Pacho, who had a very good season last. You never know what's going to happen, because Marquinhos is the leader of the side. He's been there for many seasons now, but he's just going to get pushed aside for this new signing? Who knows? It's very much possible, but I don't know. It may be a little bit shaky. So, like I said, keep an eye out on that one, especially because PSG, as good as they are, as dominant as they were last season, I don't know. They're showing some cracks, and we got to be careful. I think don't place too many bets on PSG right now. Moving on to left back now, the last part of our defense. I think we're going to go back to the Premier League, and I think this is arguably the best. Oh, I don't know. There is a few interesting transfers here that I could have gone with. I was thinking Ryan Aït-Nouri from Man City. Obviously, he's joining from fellow Premier League side Wolves. But I'm actually going to go with another Prem move. I'm going to go with Milos Kerkez. He is joining Liverpool, of course, the reigning Premier League champions, from Bournemouth. Again, another player joining from Bournemouth. Regardless, also Dean Huijsen, also one to look out for. But regardless, Milos Kerkez, that is the player that I'm going with in this 11. I think he's the main guy that he's going to be replacing Robertson. That's a pretty big ask, although Robertson has had a few down years in recent times. I think overall, just the production that he's going to have to put for Liverpool will be a little bit interesting to see. I know I keep using the word interesting, but that's kind of just the main word that I'm thinking of right now. But Kerkez is an amazing player, and I'd love to see what he can do with his Liverpool side. Maybe step up a little bit more. I believe he's got the number 6 on his back, and with this amazing super team that Liverpool is building or has built, whether that includes Alexander Isak or not, I think it's a huge signing for Liverpool. Gotta be careful with him. I will still say that Liverpool may have a down year, but Kerkez at the left back spot for them this 11. Moving up into the midfield, and we're going to start off as like a CDM position, and this may be a little bit biased here. I really like the new midfield 3 that AC Milan has signed. They've got Samuel Ricci, they've got Ardan Jashari, and they've got Luka Modric. I can finally kind of root for Luka Modric. He's wearing my favorite number 14, and obviously he's left for Real Madrid. He is on the older side. He's close, if not, he is 40 years old already. So a lot of people would have expected him to like drop off a little bit, but I'm still gonna go with Ardan Jashari in my midfield. Not Luka Modric, not Samuel Ricci. I would love to go for all 3 of them, but like I said, I kind of want to diversify this team a little bit, so we're going to stay just Jashari. I think that might be the most interesting to me, at the very least, mostly because I know what he was like in FIFA. I mean, we used him in the Galatasaray rebuild. You should check that out, by the way. The full, series is out. 27 episodes. I know it's a little bit long, but it's fun watch. Anyways, Jashari was a crucial part to our team, and I think he had a fantastic season with Club Brugge in the Belgian league. Last season, I believe he was the young player and the normal player of the season for Club Brugge, if not for the entire Belgian Pro League, which is absolutely amazing. So joining an AC Milan that is struggling, especially in the midfield, I think that'll definitely be a huge step up for him. And also, Milan may need a player kind of in his profile alongside of Luka Modric, alongside of Samuel Ricci. I think they're going to gel well. It will take a little bit of time. I think an adaptation period will be needed for all 3 of these players, but it will bolster this Milan side, and you'll see exactly where I put them in the Serie A predictions. Moving on to another center mid position, we're going up a little bit more forward, and we're actually going to go with the normal center mid, and we are actually going to be going with Job Bellingham. Yes, he has just made the move to Borussia Dortmund, just like how his older brother did it a few years ago. Job Bellingham this time. He is going in. I think he's wearing the number 7 now. He's already scored with Dortmund. I think he was this close to playing against his brother in the Club World Cup. But thankfully, we will still be seeing this youngster. He joined from Sunderland just before Sunderland actually just got promoted. So it's kind of It sucks that we don't get to see him in the Premier League, but I'm excited to see what type of role he'll have in this Borussia Dortmund side. You know, they're trying to rebuild again, trying to get back to the form that they were in, trying to push for the Bundesliga title despite Bayern Munich having such a good side. So it's going to be tough to see, but I think Joe Bellingham will have a pretty decent season. I think it'll be like a starter season, and then his second and third season, arguably third season, depending on how well he does, or if he gets a move or not, will definitely be placing him on the map and letting the world know, like, hey, I'm here, and I'm here to stay, just like his older brother was. Anyways, you never know. Imagine he joins Barcelona in the future. That'd be pretty cool. Job versus Jude in El Clasico. I'm just saying, that's a little bit of a drama. Whew, some brother drama that I love to see in real life. Anyways, moving on to the other center mid position. Before I go into my actual pick, I do want to mention a few players that I actually am super excited to see in these new teams, but unfortunately I just didn't pick them for various reasons, but mostly because of the, spreading out the picks from different leagues. But the main one that I want to talk about is Kevin De Bruyne. I'm so excited to see what he can do in this Napoli side. He's going to be the biggest player since Osimhen, and even before that, Diego Maradona. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is an amazing player. Yes, he's on the older side. Yes, he has had a little bit of some declines here and there, and of course, he's a little bit pertinent to injury, but I think he's going to do well alongside Scott McTominay and just overall terrorize the midfield in Serie A. And Napoli could win a second Scudetto in a row. You'll never know, but that's not my pick. My pick I'm just going to jump straight in. I'm going to go with, it's a pretty obvious pick for everybody. It is Paul Pogba. Yes, Paul Pogba is my main pick for this center mid. Arguably one of the main reasons I even wanted to do this video was because I wanted to talk about Paul Pogba. I'm super excited to see what he can do in this Monaco side. He's finally playing in France. I think the perfect place for him to go after his whole Man United stint should have been to PSG. I think that would have been perfect for PSG. They needed some strong midfielders, and Pogba was the perfect player. He'd never played for as long as I know, he has never played in France. He would have been joining the biggest team in France, and he was trying to rejuvenate his form. But now he's going to be trying to rejuvenate his form after being out of the game for a year and a half, if not a little bit longer, and trying to bolster this. Monaco was trying to compete against the super team that is PSG. So I think I'm just super excited, just like as most people are. I think he's going to have a fantastic season, and he might have a couple of decently sized clubs going for him after the end of the season. So keep an eye out for Pogba and the rest of the midfield that I said. Onto the attack, and we are going to be finally going for a right winger. And to finish off our Bundesliga picks, I will be choosing this new RB Leipzig winger. It is Johan Bakayoko. He is joining from PSV. I think that is a fantastic signing for RB Leipzig. They're going back to what they used to do, or they kind of still do. Picking out youngsters from more obscure sides and, trying to turn them into world beaters. Look at Xavi Simons. Think about... There's so many that I'm blanking on. Xavi Simons is literally the only one I'm thinking of right now. Why? Think of Xavi Simons, think of Openda, think of so many other players that they've done this with, and they propel them onto bigger sides. But Johan Bakayoko could be one of the next ones who could possibly get a bigger move, or if not, take RB Leipzig to, maybe a surprising Bundesliga victory. Maybe not this season. They were not great last season, but you never know. Bakayoko could be one of those players that steps up even more than anybody expects and could have a terror of a season. So keep an eye out on him. I think that's a little bit of an underrated signing that not many people were talking about. So keep an eye out for this Belgian winger and RB Leipzig overall as a whole. I'm still going to do my Bundesliga predictions, but I might have a few mentions of Bakayoko here and there, but he's my right winger pick. Sorry for some of the snubs, like Ritsu Doan going to Frankfurt. I think that's an excellent signing, but I'm a little bit bitter because I'm a Freiburg fan. But anyways, moving on to left wing. And for this left wing slot, I've already done 2 Ligue 1 picks. I've already done 2 La Liga picks. And my last position, apart from left wing, I have striker. I'm missing one more Serie A, basically. I've done Premier League. I've done Ligue 1, I've done La Liga, and I've done Bundesliga. I just need one more Serie A player, and then the last one could be whatever. But this left wing spot between a Ligue 1 and between a La Liga player. My La Liga player, I'm gonna go with Rashford. It just has to be. He's joining Barcelona, and I think he's gonna have a crazy season. I think Hansi Flick is gonna unlock this player and make him into the beast that everybody knows he can be. I mean, back in 2022, he was tearing it up. Over 30 goals for Manchester United, struggling Man United, that is. Now, imagine him joining this elite attacking side with Hansi Flick, pressing, and arguably starting him at striker or playing him at striker. He's already scored a goal, got a few assists in the preseason. Now imagine what he can do in the real season. It's one to look out for, that's for sure. But my second pick, or my main pick, another reason why I really want to pick him, but I kind of can't because it's the same team as another player that I've already mentioned. It's Ansu Fati. Of course, it has to be Ansu Fati. So whether it be Marcus Rashford or Ansu Fati, I mean, Ansu Fati, I have to talk about him. He's joining AS Monaco on loan, and I think he's going to have a really good season. I know I say this basically every season for Ansu Fati, but I'm a huge fan of him. Okay, that's just the truth. I want him to return to what he was, reach at least somewhat of the potential that he had when he first broke out in that 2020 season with Lionel Messi and Suarez still there, and take me back to those days, man. I miss Ansu Fati, the youngster who is now, he's just around my age. I mean, he's actually a little bit older than me, but I think he's still gonna tear it up, and I think AS Monaco is a really good place for him to develop a little bit more. Plus, he's gonna be playing alongside another player, Paul Pogba, and a few other youngsters who will be like trying to prove themselves to the world that like, hey, we're good players. And I think they could push for the title in Ligue 1. I'm just saying, PSG do not look as strong as they did last season. That may be a controversial take, but that's just me. That's just me. They had to take Spurs all the way to penalties. I'm just saying. Keep an eye out for Monaco. Monaco could surprise us all. I know Marseille is still there as well. I'm not making any Ligue 1 predictions just because I feel like I don't have enough information on all the teams. So that's why I'm not going to make any Ligue 1 predictions, but we'll make a quick one right here. Monaco could give PSG a good run. I think PSG will still end up winning Ligue 1, but I think Monaco will finish in second. It'll be a lot closer than everybody thinks. Last but not least, I'm going to be talking about striker. My striker, the one that I've chosen is from Serie A. You guys may have already guessed who it is, but before I even talk about him, I have to talk about all the other players that I chose not to pick, and that includes a few players. Also, I forgot to mention Ryan Cherky is also an interesting player that you should keep an eye on. Just saying. And Granit Xhaka. Sorry, that was all midfield and right wing. But anyways, strikers. Viktor Gyökeres is one that, of course, I'm going to keep a close eye on. For Arsenal, he's wearing my favorite number, and I think he can help propel Arsenal to a Premier League victory finally. That's just one of them. Moving on to another one, Ugo Ekitike. Regardless if he has a good or bad season, we got to keep an eye on for him because he's joining a Liverpool side that has kind of been lacking a lethal goal threat. Arguably, that could be Ekitike. I know he's on the younger side. He hasn't really fully proven himself. He's done it one season with Frankfurt. Did a decent job at, Reims before he joined PSG. And at PSG, it didn't do so great. But, to be fair, he was behind the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. So, it's understandable. But, yeah, those are two players. Not to mention Liam Delap, but also João Pedro and so many other Premier League strikers. But there's so many Premier League strikers that are interesting to, see what they can do this season. Evan Guasson, Liam Delap, João Pedro, so many other players that I can go on and on. But my main pick, I'm going to go for the Serie A player, like I said. And I am going to be going with Jonathan David. I think at Juventus, I think that's a humongous, coup for Juventus, in my personal opinion. I think he's going to showcase what he has been doing in Lille in Ligue 1 for so many seasons now. He's getting to that prime age, and Juventus have been calling out for a very solid striker. And here it is. They have Jonathan David, who, like I said, has been killing it in Ligue 1 for Lille. Now he's arguably can be doing it for Juventus, and I'd really like him to succeed there. I thought the perfect move for him would be Dortmund, but to be fair, they still have Guirassy and stuff like that, so it could be a little bit difficult. But for Juventus, I think this is a great move, and also a really good move for the Canadian striker as well. So with all of that being said and done, there's so many players that I even didn't even mention, whether that's because I forgot, but overall, like, I feel like I can do a few more videos talking about them. But that's basically my 11 of the new transfers that I would like to see personally, whether that be do not so great or do excellently. I think a lot of them, I do want them to succeed at these new clubs, whether they go on loan or whether they come back, or whether they are permanently sold. I want them to succeed, most of them, Trent aside, sorry. But I do want to see exactly what this new journey takes for them or has for them. I've seen a few videos with similar premises like this one, including one where it's like new transfers, but or just players to keep an eye on, but the full team wasn't the new transfers, so that's why I wanted to do specifically new transfers and kind of spread it out through the top 5 leagues. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your new transfers 11 down in the comments below. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lates.